first episode with our featured guest, Tyler Filmore. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I know you have been on quite the tour and quite the rigorous route. What it sounds like driving everywhere.
It's all worth it, man. It's all worth it.
But he's originally from Missouri, correct?
Yeah, Wildwood, Missouri.
And currently resided in Nashville?
Yep. I've been in Nashville about 5 years and been a songwriter there. And you kind of just eventually, like we were talking about earlier, you find your sound and you try to develop that, and then you get chances, you get to go on the road and build an artist career. And it's a windy road, and there's a million different ways to get there. But yeah, it's kind of Missouri, Nashville, and now I'm in Montana today. So.
Right. So would you say, I mean, kind of talking through your career, but would you say that you found country music or country music found you, or that you're kind of defining your own genre as you go along through your career?
I think, especially this day and age, music has become a melting pot to a certain extent, especially with the access of the internet. And, even as I grew up, I think I found country. I think, my dad listened to country as long as I can remember, but I was like, you kind of transition between different genres of music that you listen to, especially, the best example I have is where I grew up in Wildwood, Missouri. There was 2 radio stations, and there was a pop radio station and a country radio station. It was 92.3 and 107.7. And, before Spotify became a thing and, Facebook and everything kind of, just really opened the door for finding new music. That was kind of my avenue at that time, other than like CDs and stuff. And, I think it's a very true testament to my sound now, from what I grew up with and what I listened to, blending those type of styles, pop and country. I love the storytelling of country. I love the risks of pop. I love just the difference that you can create between the two. And this day and age, everyone's listening to everything. So it's like, why not just tell my story the way I want to? And I'm not necessarily putting a label on it. I'm a country artist, and I talk about my life and how I grew up and the things I do. And that's, I'm sticking to it. And that's kind of how the sound kind of developed that way. So.
Right. And so, I mean, moving forward, kind of in what you can hear from Tyler here is that, I mean, you really decided to take the individualistic route, and I think that's something more and more as we see through these generations growing up. People want to do that. They want to go into entrepreneurship. They want to try and do things a different way, but stealing things and different types of styles from different things, whatever it may be, clothing, different types of, music, whatever it may be. And it seems like you found your niche through that. And once you found that, I guess, kind of leading into this next question is, so you started playing locally, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
And what has it been like? I mean, you're from Missouri, currently live in Nashville now, and you're here in Montana.
Yeah.
Which is, thousands of miles away. What has it been like to see, you kind of find yourself, find your niche, and then, as our generation says, shoot your shot, and to see, you're starting to play locally, and you started playing these larger venues, and now, you're opening in some of these arenas. What has it been like to see that process and just watch it physically evolve?
I think when you look at it at the beginning, you're like, every little step is like, oh, this is amazing. And then when you're in it and you're finally to the point where, like, I think as an entrepreneur or as a musician or an artist, I think as you get that next step, you want the next step. Like, that's the drive. So, like, you get there and it's still not enough to a certain extent because you want the next thing. And it doesn't mean you're not grateful. I'm beyond grateful, and I could do this the rest of my life and open for Chase Rice. Like, this is amazing. It's always great. Like, people are great. Everything's absolutely amazing, and I'm beyond thankful for what I've been given thus far. But my drive is there to get the next thing, and I think, each step along the way, you're thankful you accept it, but you're trying to get to those headlining stadiums, So.
Right, and I mean, through this, you are essentially your own business.
Exactly.
You are selling
100%.
yourself, and you're trying to create something that draws people in, through entertainment, and you're your own product. And like I was telling you, I've been fortunate enough to travel to Nashville and talk with people there. And, a lot of people when I was downtown meeting and greeting, there's a lot of sincerity and kindness to people there, but it seemed like every single person I would meet was, hey, I'm so-and-so, I'm a singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm so-and-so, and I'm I'm a country singer.
Oh, yeah.
And then, you know, it's followed up by, hey, you can come watch me play at Tootsie's or at, you know, those down there on Broadway. I'm trying to think of more of the names, but
Legends, movies, the stage.
Right, and it's not that I didn't, you know, I wasn't taking for granted what they said, or it wasn't a shot at them, but it was like, man, I just met 5 people who are singer-songwriters. We go to a different place, I just met 10 more people. And at the end of the night, it's like, man, I met 50 people who are saying they're singer-songwriters, right. You know, and I know there's not that many people doing this for a career. And so, you know, but for those people, and like, you know, as for yourself, it's a mindset, right? You know, you get to that point where you tell yourself, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to stop until I accomplish it. At what point, or, you know, say 8 years ago when I met you and you introduced yourself as a singer-songwriter, what was your mindset moving forward that said, you know what, I'm not going to be just settle for playing on Broadway. I'm going to, you know, really attack this.
I think it takes a certain person. I think it is a mentality, it is a mindset. I don't know if you can necessarily explain it. I think that people have certain experiences through their life that drive them. And, you know, I think sports are a big teacher of that. And obviously, I played a lot of sports growing up and in high school. And it, you know, certain things in your life definitely sculpt your decisions for the future and how you're going to act and your mindset on things. And I just think that at some point, the way I was raised, all the above, the things I've been through, there's nothing that I necessarily think could ever stop me. And my drive and my mindset is too much set on a goal to where, like you know, you lose relationships. You lose a lot of things, like trying to get to where you want to be, and you have to risk everything. You have to literally risk everything. And I'm completely fine doing that because this is all I want. So.
Right, and that's another thing, you know, I think that I haven't touched on in my notes here, but sacrifice. And talking with, you know, a lot of those people is they're not willing to give up, you know, maybe what you've given up, you know, relationships, you know, not only, you know, with another partner, but obviously with your family as well. Mm-hmm. And, you know, people, I mean, it's a cutthroat industry for those of you who may not know. I mean, music is hit and miss. You know, you could be in one day and you're out the next. You know, we're talking here, he's explaining to me how some of his band members aren't here tonight because they have other gigs and they have other opportunities, and, you know, there's sacrifices that need to be made, and I can't imagine the type of stress when you have to gear up to travel across the United States with all that in your mind, but at the same time, come 8 o'clock when you step on that stage, that has to be exited out of your mind.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how to explain it. It's just sort of like, it just has to work. And that's all you know. It's like, it just has to work, and you're going to do the best you possibly can, and that's all you can do.
Yeah. And with that being said, what I'm asking kind of in close is, what's a piece of advice for, you know, me and for these young viewers who may be watching or even old, to live your life by, or, you know, when things get hard or whatever it may be, what's something that's just kind of kept you going through this entire process?
Man, it's not just one thing, and there's a million different factors, obviously, like I said before, but I literally think there's a stubborn side of me that just, like, I don't care what anyone says is going to work, and when people say it's not, it just fuels that fire more. So, and that comes with, you know, choosing your lane in music, choosing how you want to dress, choosing your marketing, choosing how you want to do things. Like, I think you just got to be true to yourself, and even if there's people that don't understand it, there'll be 10 other people that understand it besides that one person, and if it's supposed to happen, it's going to happen. And I think if you work hard enough at anything, and put enough time and hours into anything, you'll master that craft, and there's no stopping you once you get to that point. I truly believe that. So.
Right, and you heard it here, and I think that correlates with something that I try to tell people is that, you know, business is a game, and this is a game, and good intentions and effort, you know, that's not enough.
No.
It takes more, and I'm lucky to have sat down here with Tyler and talked with him and get an insight, and I hope those of you watching took something from this, because this is a craft and this is a skill that, you know, a lot of people say they're going to do or work at, and they, you know, call it quits after they get stopped once or they get told no. And I haven't even asked him, but I know for a fact that he's been told no probably numerous times, and he's been told he's not good enough. But here he is, opening up for Chase Rice, opening up in these large venues and doing it and chasing it. I want to thank you again for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
And I hope that these people can take something away from it.
All right. Dude, thank you.
So you heard it here first. That closes episode 1. We'll continue next week with another featured guest.
Our scars, yeah, we left our mark.